Hi, I'm Tom and this is Adult Game Reviews. This week I'm reviewing Season 1 of The Walking Dead.
No, that's not right.
State of Decay 3.
We're gonna miss, Webster. Next.
It's Survivor Strain Where It All Began by Mr. Baker.
There you go, yes, that's it!
In many ways, Survivor Strain feels familiar, in the vein of 28 Days Later or Dawn of the Dead. However, is this more The Last of Us or the disappointing Army of the Dead? Let's find out. FYI, if you want exclusive videos, private streams, and more, think about checking out the AGR Patreon or Subscribestar. The link for the Patreon is in the description, and the Subscribestar is in my link tree. Thanks all. So you play the MC who was on vacation to Argentina with a couple of his buddies when the zombie apocalypse started. Unfortunately for you, because you're a tourist and you ended up losing your passport in the first wave, you're stuck there. You have to do side jobs to try to make ends meet because food, fuel, even living space is rationed. You end up doing more and more dangerous jobs and start collecting people on the way. Okay, so visually, Survivor Strain feels like costume jewelry. On the surface, the faces, the setting, and the zombies all look amazing. There were many times where I was shocked at how detailed some of the faces could be. However, just like costume jewelry, if you look too closely, you'll start to see flaws. There were times where the bodies didn't move right, or arms or legs were disproportionate to the rest of the body. I will show a couple examples right here, but I show more on the Patreon version. There were some scenes where you ended up looking at the same renders for what felt like a very long time. This was contradicted by the action scenes, which were vibrant, varied, and intense. So visually, Survivor Strain was mostly good, with some flaws. Audio-wise, there was music and the very sporadic sound effects. I would say the music was pretty good, but many scenes would have been better served if there were more frequent sound effects. You know what was also pretty good? The writing. There were typos here and there, but nothing too problematic. This all leads into the story, so I'll be transparent here. I love zombie survival movies and TV and games. While I personally had a really hard time with The Walking Dead, I put in way too many hours on State of Decay 2 and The Last of Us. I mean, movies like Dawn of the Dead or even Shaun of the Dead, I love them all.
Attackers can be stopped by removing the head or destroying the brain.
This is all to say the survival strain is in my wheelhouse. The story itself was very run-of-the-mill zombie survival game. I felt like you got a lot more interaction between characters with the main story happening in short bursts. If you take a moment and just sit back and look at what actually happens from the beginning of season 1 to the end, it's not a lot. You're mostly traveling from place to place trying to survive. This feels very Walking Dead to me. If you enjoy the character interactions, then this can be enjoyed. However, let me be clear. When we did get action or main story scenes, they were mostly done well. I did wish we got a bit more story progression though. Speaking of character interactions, I thought many of the characters' stories were tragic and interesting. It seemed like everyone was missing or looking for family. Some of the characters actually felt like they were fleshed out as people, while others felt like they were just there to push along the story, kind of like poor Sophia. And while it didn't feel like there was a ton of character growth, there was a lot of character exploration. You have different paths you can be on, and I was not able to be on everyone's path at the same time. So this will lead to some different scenes with your second playthrough. While the overall story was kind of run-of-the-mill, the action scenes were exceptional. I really felt the intensity. Whether it's zombies or hostile humans, the stakes felt real and dangerous. There were choices during some of the scenes, like this person wanted to kill you. Will you take the high road or will you take out the threat? The MC is truly the white knight riding in on a horse trying to save everyone. So these moments where you're the protector and everyone's savior would stand out in contrast to some of the decisions you had to make. I do hope we get to see the MC change from some of these difficult decisions over time. So what did I think? The parts of Survival Strain that were good, I thought were really good. Many of the faces, the action scenes, the different types of zombies, and some of the characters were truly engaging. However, many of the other aspects were just okay. The story is fairly run-of-the-mill zombie survival, but I did enjoy the South American setting. I asked you if this was more Last of Us or Army of the Dead. Honestly, neither. This felt more like the best and worst moments of The Walking Dead. While many of the action scenes were great, they also felt pretty safe. So for me, this is a play, if you like zombie survival. If you aren't a fan of the genre, then Survival Strain is unlikely to change your mind. I want to thank all my backers on Patreon and Subscribestar. Thank you so much for your support. If you haven't seen my review of HIAW, you should check it out right here. Thanks again. Until next time.